toe shoes, man. You go to the beach, you don't want to fuck up your feet.
I actually have 1,000 pairs of these.
No, do you really?
Yeah.
No way.
So like I have the Kanye versions.
Oh, okay, that's fire. I'm
Wait,
gonna have to look up.
Oh yeah, you didn't know that? Look at him looking it up right now.
Why did you
I
bamboozle
would
me,
definitely
dude?
know about it.
This man.
We had to.
Hey, it's Kanye, man. You never know. He could do anything. We're a long way from home.
Yeah, man. Like 3.5 hours.
Yeah. We're a long way from each other as well right now.
We are, bro. We never ever like this far from each other on an episode.
I'm so
That's
used
true.
to like sitting across from you. It's weird sitting on
Yeah.
a couch away from you.
But this is how it should be. Like we've been wanting. Well, you've been wanting to
Do a
change the
couch
setup.
vibe.
Like a couch vibe.
Maybe this is pushing me in the right direction.
Yeah. Everything I see is an omen. This is an omen. It's a sign.
Yeah. I feel like Dan Bilzerian with the shorts on you know what I'm saying, like the tight shorts.
Yeah.
Sitting here. His legs might be a little bit bigger though, so.
Yeah. For sure.
There was a dog in the elevator earlier.
Today. Yeah.
Do you think they're like teleporting?
What do you mean? What?
They're sitting there and they're just like hanging out, and then the door opens and then it's a different spot.
Oh, they think that they're teleporting.
Yeah.
That's some fucked up shit, bro. That's probably why he was so scared.
He was really nervous.
Yeah.
The woman kept saying he was a good dog. I'm like, he's a nervous dog.
He's a nervous dog. Yeah.
But is every dog a good dog, or is there
that
bad
woman
dogs, to
was
be honest?
low-key flirting with you. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna
I'm
lie.
wifed up.
Yeah. Yeah, we know.
You gotta stop that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I learned about Andrew Tate.
Yo, Andrew Tate is crazy, bro. Andrew Tate. Get that man on the fucking pod, bro.
If you had
Listen.
to define Andrew Tate, how would you define Andrew
I'd say
Tate?
ballsy. He's a ballsy human. Ballsy. He don't give a fuck. He reminds me of like that Donald Trump type of like attitude. It's just like,
Just craziness.
yeah, like he doesn't give a fuck. He's gonna live by and abide by his rules and the things that he said.
If you give Andrew Tate enough time, he'll say the most. His hook will be the craziest thing.
Yeah.
You'll be like, "What? Are you crazy?"
Yeah.
You let him talk for 5 minutes, then you'll go, "He might be right in a certain context."
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
You know who's also crazy?
Who?
This guy I know called Sneakz. You ever seen him on IG?
Sneakz?
Yeah.
You're talking about these Sneakz?
The Sneakz. At Sneakz.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Is the behind the scenes guy here yet?
He says yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Mm. You wanted to wait?
Huh?
You wanted to wait?
No, we can bring him on.
Let's bring my man on. He's
If you like sneakers, you love this guy. He went from Maryland to Orlando, then to the world famous Miami.
Miami.
With over 400,000 followers watching his every move. It's Adam Medvedev, a.k.a. Sneakz.
Yes, sir. Let's have him on.
It's the man.
Yeah, nice to see you, brother.
I'll
It's
give
a
you a
pleasure
shake.
to have you, bro.
The Wet Slap podcast is fueled by Foxtail Coffee Clermont. In fact, that's quite literally where I created and continue to create the show. If you're in the Central Florida area, go visit Christina and the crew and grab yourself a premium cup of joe or tea and go ahead and tell them the Wet Slap sent you. The aesthetic environment and amazing hospitality and good coffee creates the perfect setting to kick back, relax, and get creative, or socialize with some friends. Thank you to the Foxtail Coffee Clermont for sponsoring this episode. Stop in on the corner of Highway 27 and Anderson Hill Road in Clermont, Florida, and again, say the Wet Slap sent you. You might even see me in there, but be careful. I do bite. Back to the program. Pleasure to have you. You can get comfortable. I'll give you a second. This couch is really deep. That's what I noticed.
Yeah,
So I'm
bro.
like,
I'll be sinking in this hole. For real.
and then the headphones are there. You can get those comfy and stuff. Real weird equipment.
Yes, sir.
Did you see the Justin Bieber's face recently?
I did. I saw a little bit about it. I didn't like I don't keep up too much with like just overall like the big news because you never
Right.
really know, but you know you can't really avoid stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
did see a little bit about that.
Are you more, do you like more pop culture news or more like regular, like obviously regular news is important too, but it's like, I feel like pop culture news is just way more entertaining in a sense. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah, I mean like I said, like normal news, like whatever's going on, I don't really tap in. Like I'll see it if it's big enough to make like everywhere.
Yeah.
But essentially,
Justin
like,
Bieber's face. It's big enough to get everywhere.
I mean, it's Bieber. You know what I
Right,
mean? What do
true.
you expect? But no, I mean, I'm more into like whatever, like the hip hop stuff, because
Okay.
more or less like I'm around like artists a lot. I do like a lot in the music scene, so it usually is more like niche, kind of like underground scene stuff. So like the real like mainstream news, whether it's pop, whether it's like just trending and stuff. I don't really know much about it. It's just like a trend type thing. But
Yeah. Pops
but
up
yeah.
on your For You page and you're forced to watch it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
ironically, I actually don't go on TikTok often. Like
Really?
Wow.
yeah, I just, if I'm not like sitting on any like platform, like if I'm not like working on socials, I'm just not scrolling. Like I just usually try to stick away with that. But like the boys be sending me shit. Like it's kind of like you can't get off the app. But essentially, nah.
So how do you balance that though? Because for me personally, I personally have my own like personal brand that I'm building, and I also have like my video production company. And sometimes I'm like, I want to take that break from socials, but it's like at the same time it's a business.
Yeah.
So how do you balance that?
Well, like realistically, and again, I always say this, and those that know me, like everything's a business. Like I make sure that everything that revolves around me in some way can either benefit me at this point, or it will set me up for future connections, whether or not it's even like really related to like financial business. Like even meeting someone, even the fact that like you can sit down, get to know a person, like I believe in people don't meet on accident. So essentially, like even my day-to-day life, I try to like maximize it. So I mean, yeah, like I'll sit at home, like I'll play the game, I'll watch a movie and stuff, but ideally that's like a few hours. Essentially, like I've integrated my like literal routine basically to be just like, this is what I do. So like, you know how of course everyone's like, oh, social media is fake, is very like perceived as in just like the highlights, and like not even to say that about myself, but I've just kind of done it so where like it's my job basically. So everything that's done, it's done with like really strategic, like more than just like, oh, here's a post. There's always kind of like a meaning or a purpose that I like try to like make it evolve.
Yes.
That's
That's
a lot.
awesome.
Sorry. Yeah.
No,
that
that's
was a
beautiful.
great answer.
That's why I
Appreciate
love
you.
doing so I used to make a lot of video content, YouTube vlogs, a bunch of different content avenues. I started doing the podcast and I realized how much I liked it because it's long form and you can get a lot out and it can really be who you are.
Yeah.
Like I look so stupid on camera sometimes. Sometimes I look cool or funny.
Yeah.
Usually stupid, but hey, that's all right. But with this long form, it allows me to like really let people know who I am. And a guest-based podcast, which that's what this is, a guest-based podcast. We have Sneakz on here. He's able to get a full thought out and more than just 3 Instagram picture slides.
Exactly. Most definitely. Yeah.
No, it's great. Like how you were saying that it's more genuine. It's not like something where like everything on Instagram and like majority of the media that we see, it's either not always fabricated, but there's always more context. This is kind of like, this is how it is. This is how we are, what we talk about. So
It's always enhanced in some type of way.
yeah, facts.
Yeah, we were actually they got mimosas. I didn't get mimosas this morning because I have a show today.
Oh.
So
He's-
that's
he's-
after.
This is your podcast?
He's been locked.
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Oh,
It's his-
sometimes.
I see,
Sometimes,
I
yeah.
see.
Yeah.
I drink what was it? Kale tonic or something like that.
Some
But we were trying to avoid picking up our phones.
some virgin
and
shit.
it was really hard because all of us kept like instantly grabbing our phones.
Yeah.
After just like a couple minutes of conversation,
Yeah.
just grab it. But it's hard to balance.
No, that's how
So.
it goes. I actually very recently, I think it was probably my mom who brought it to my attention. She was just like, you stare at a screen all day long. To like, obviously, like that's not something that most of our parents grew up on. So she occasionally reminds me, of course, like enjoy it because I'm in Miami, but like I don't necessarily go to the beach much. Like I don't do more than just kind of like sit in and just literally just do my work and kind of like in my own little world. But yeah, it's very important because like screen time is ridiculous. But again, like you said, it's more and more difficult to get like away from all that. So that's why I kind of had to make sure it's like basically integrated.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you're a sneakerhead for sure, aka the name Sneakz.
I guess, yeah, like that's a very broad term now. I guess everyone just kind of throws it around, but when I began quote unquote being a sneakerhead or just like a enthusiast, reseller, whatever you want to call it, it was just it kind of I'm not going to say it died off, but it's not the same as it was years ago. Like the
It doesn't hold enough weight, the same weight that it used to.
Yeah, I feel like the term like hype beast, all of that was like a very like notable thing.
Yeah.
Now people kind of stray away, which is great. Like, I mean, time evolves like as we should, but a lot of people are growing up. A lot of people are like just getting just a minimalistic look. It's not about, thousands of dollars on some like fancy colors or like fancy collabs. Like people could just wear whatever more.
Facts, I agree.
So it's, but shoes is what got me like basically like, I mean, here, everywhere. It's something that I not only saw as a business, but saw as a passion just because I wanted to make sure I'm doing what I want to do.
With that thought, I know it'll always be a part of you. But do you see yourself, now that you've kind of really moved far forward and almost conquered the niche of shoes, are you kind of like setting that aside a little bit is what you're saying and trying to move on to bigger, different things?
Yeah. So, again, like, not to say like I'm a retired reseller, but I don't spend any time, like, as far as income goes, it's not from sneakers anymore. Like, I don't use them as a source of like my daily routine myself. Like, I used to be, like, every upcoming release, I'd be on top of it. I'd be the source that people would be like, yo, like, I need these Jordans coming out, or, like, whatever. I had like all various clients, like, for people's like parties where they would be like, yo, I need Yeezys as a gift, whatever the case may be. So I was just all up in that, and that's all I knew. And of course, it's amazing. And not only did it bring me to various conventions, events, I got to saw a lot, meet a lot of people, which is the most important, because again, shoes are just shoes. But yeah, I don't sell them anymore. Realistically, of course, the people that know me, if they need a specific pair, if they need anything, like, I got it, sure. I've really just like, a lot of my boys now have that business to where like they're doing it, and I'd rather just support their cause, just because I know how it goes, I know how it works. So if I can connect them, make a sale for them, like, of course, people take their cuts, and like, it's like what, $30-$40 sometimes it's like, it's rather worth just seeing someone else excel in that field, just because like I feel like I did what I needed to do. Like, I'd rather just see everyone else evolve.
You said people are going for more of a minimalistic feel.
I'm
that minimal guy. I'm weird. It's either white Air Forces or Converse.
That's classic though. You know what I mean? Like, myself, like, you actually never, like, I've never owned white Air Forces besides
Same.
like,
Black Air Forces though?
No.
Okay, I didn't know if you're gonna
No. Like, I love Air Forces, but like, just some part of me, just like, again, I can't. But this is like a whole further conversation. But like, for me, everything that I like, if I spend money on it, it has to be something that I can either make my money back on, or a return of investment in some way.
Wow, that's great. That's
like, that's how far I think of it. Like, every little piece, like, there's nothing wrong with the white Air Force. They're timeless. You'll have them, they look good, whatever. But to me, like, when you're done with them, you're done with them.
Yeah.
Facts.
That's how it goes. Like,
it's not an investment at the end
you
of the
could
day.
maybe get like a couple bucks back if they're somewhat in demand and they're sold out new, because that's the case. Like, so many people have them. They're like, when I used to work at sneaker stores, I used to manage like boutiques, like the buy sell trades, and I would have regular people come in like just looking for those, and I'm like, they're at Nike, and they're like, no, they're not, and I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Damn.
So like, there was a point in time where that was profitable, but like, for me, like, I like Air Forces, but for me, it's like the hype beast is about to say, like, I have the Supreme ones, so like, I have all white ones with Supreme, just because, again, there's a rarity factor, there's a demand for it. So like, if I wear them and I own them, I'll enjoy them. It goes with my like persona, it goes with me. I enjoy the brands, and then there's one day when I want something else as we evolve, and then I just keep rotating it, basically. But yeah,
awesome.
When you see a certain pair of shoes out in public, do you have to let a guy know, like, oh, those are those? Nice. I know those.
I'll acknowledge it. Like, I think it's like a thing. I mean, yeah, it's just maybe the weird to those that don't understand like what's good. It's like a car thing,
Yeah.
There's car guys. They're like, they just appreciate what they see, and they're like, hey, I like your car, whatever. Like, I'm not one of those that like really speaks unless spoken. So I'm not gonna come up and be like, just to every person, I like your shoes. But yeah, I see it, I acknowledge it, and it's also something. I was a big authenticator like for stores. So to me, it's like just natural. Like, I just make the shoe contact, just like I look at it, and it just makes sure that I'm on track. Like, that way that I continuously legit check like things. That way I just keep up with it. Like, I don't forget. So whenever that is needed.
You're always working out muscle.
Yeah. It's just like integrated. Like, I used to skate when I was younger. Not that I skate now, but I still occasionally, like, I still subscribe to people that skate. I still watch my boys that skate. Like, it's just a part of it. Like, now I don't have to be involved, but same with shoes. I'll always appreciate it. I'll always be like around that culture.
Is there any big giveaways when it comes to knowing if a shoe is real or not?
There are, and believe it or not, I mean, of course, like, when this was all a thing, like probably like 2016, 2017, a little earlier, it was like very undoubtedly noticeable, and it was something that was more like a clown cult. Like, people would obviously, not saying people encourage fakes now, but it was a very like, oh no, like, if it's fake, it's horrible. But nowadays there's so many like variations. There's like DIYs, there's customs, there's people that like, like, actually, believe it or not, the shoes I'm wearing now, they're like mimicking a specific style. They're like, trying to look like two brands, but it's a separate brand that did its own thing, like creatively combined like 3 different ideas. So I mean, they're not, of course, like, like fakes and replicas are so highly like a thing now that it's quite difficult. Like, to the average consumer, it's nearly impossible at times. They've really gotten it down. It's really accessible. That's the thing, is like, back in the day, just no one knew how to get it, what to get it. Now it's just too accessible.
Do you think it's unstoppable now? Like the amount of shoes that these resellers are getting, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like people are out here like, oh, I don't want to pay resale for this shoe. What is this? Do you think the sneaker industry should do something to where they're producing way more sneakers? Or do you think the resellers are still going to like try to profit off of that? Like,
well,
what do you think? Because
okay.
it's a business. It's a very good business. So it's like
Of
the
course,
resellers
of
aren't going
course.
to be like, oh, just because y'all making more shoes, we're not going to like back off type shit.
And that's like, you could take that theory with honestly any product. So,
Yeah.
I mean, of course, not to sound cliche, but with anything, especially if it's like a physical good, it comes down to supply and demand. It really does. Like, it just comes out to how much is available to the public. So I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be a little biased just because since I've owned and operated at sneaker stores and like been behind the scenes to see, I mean, of course, I've never worked at Nike, so I don't know the distribution side, but when I did go to college, I took some classes and some financial things to like, because, if I have a degree, I would want to work in some corporation. So realistically, I think that they should just, like, if you release more of something, like Kanye had that effect where he's like, I want everyone to have Yeezys. I want everyone to have access.
Yeah, that's so true.
So regardless, reselling isn't going to ever die or ever go down because like that's just a way for people to just like, some people have it as a side hustle. It's so accessible that like anyone can pick it up. Like you don't have to have sneaker knowledge. You don't have to be quote unquote a sneakerhead. Like that might piss off some like real like shoe heads, like culture heads. They're like, oh nah, like if they don't know the history behind the shoe, they shouldn't be able to like deal with it. But again, it's at the end of the day, like drop shipping basically. Like we're really gonna sit here and say that this man knows everything about this phone case. Like it's just buy sell. So yeah, so it's just essentially like people will buy Travis's shoes and they'll be like, oh, I don't even know who Travis is. Like I don't listen to his music. So it's a matter of just like, yeah, there's a flaw there, but at the end of the day, the shoe is cycled and the demand is distributed. So then again, it's a win-win. The company that sells the shoes, like, of course, they're going to increase prices as Jordan does, like it's the world we live in, of course. But it's still going to be a thing for the reseller just because there's always going to be some, and usually it starts at like, I don't know, 12, 13. I've seen very, like, really, really young hustlers basically, but that's just how it goes.
What was your age when you started?
I wish I was that young or maybe not, but I think realistically, like I didn't even know what, like I was that kid. I was so uneducated. I didn't know who Kobe, Jordan, anyone was like until I was like 12 maybe. Like I grew up in an entire area to where I had no access to cable. I had no real like way to be informed. And like so my family's from Ukraine. So in the household it's Russian. We spoke Russian. So it's like to get knowledge out of like the US and like the culture and stuff, I'd have to be in like US schools, or there's really no other way for me to get that information. So I mean, slowly just being a person who's in middle school and etc., like it's inevitable. So I just saw kids like wear these fancy basketball shoes, and a lot of people in my neighborhood were like hooping, and I would just come up with those like torn up skate shoes, like Vans, or just like beat up old shoes, and they were like, bro, like what are you good? Like what are you wearing? I'm like, what do you mean? That's what I wear every day. But they have all these fancy LeBrons, and I just didn't know. And then of course they're like $200, and I'm like, I'm complaining from paying like $60 for these Vans that will be destroyed. But yeah, like 15, I started like I guess having that $200 from just saving up, or I actually was working since I was like 13, like an animal shelter. I was doing like fundraising, like literally whatever it took, mowing the lawn, etc. So I had some capital, I guess you could say, some investment. And then, I just bought a pair of shoes. And then the day I bought them, I was just like, just showing my friends at school, like, hey, I got these now. And someone was just like, yo, like, how'd you get those? Let me get them off you. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then that's it. It clicked.
That's the first
light bulb. The light bulb.
What was the shoe that you were like, damn, like sneakers? Like for me, it was when the Yeezy Pirate Blacks came out.
Yo, okay.
I saw them and I was like, I need to have those, and I had them.
Yeah,
that's what put me onto the whole sneaker, like, culture and all that shit. So what was your sneaker?
I'm glad that's one of them, kind of. So the first one, I'm pretty sure, like the one I'm talking about is the LeBron 11, and specifically, if anyone knows, it's called the King's Pride colorway. It's like it's a golden, like chunky basketball shoe.
Bailey, my editor, put up pictures. I'll send them to you. Put up pictures while we speak of these shoes on the visual form.
Sir.
Okay.
So. Yeah, no, of course. So no, it was that, and again, that was probably a bad example, just because like it's not like a retro and it's not something crazy, but I just purposefully wanted to use it, for basketball and whatnot, just so I can get into this more. But it just happened right there. And then Dunks, before now, of course, Dunks exploded, but it was more like a cult following thing, like a skater scene. But Dunks were primarily like the source, and the Pirates. The only reason I'm going to mention it is because I was fortunate enough to get them for retail. That was like my first ever Yeezy. So like I paid, I entered, and how I used to do this is crazy too. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate, but I would have a bunch of friends at school that don't care about shoes. Like, you know, they see no value in them, and I'm like, all right, great. Or like I even had like, not family members, but like family friends that again, like I would have my mom enter, I would have my mom's friend enter.
Damn.
But yeah, I literally just like tried my absolute best to get these. So I got them for like that 200, and then that's what started. And I flipped them for like 900 at an event.
Wow.
And that was like my
dude.
first taste of profit. Like I was like, all right, so this is a thing. Yeah, so this works.
There's a first time for everything.
Yeah, seriously.
We had a first on this trip. What was it?
What do you mean a first on this trip?
There was a trip. There was a first during this trip, and I looked at you, and
What are you talking about?
I can't
What are
remember.
you talking about? Like a first, like a
First time. Oh yeah, we kissed.
Nick,
No, I'm just live
it
on
was-
air. Caught
yeah,
him.
That's crazy. I can't remember. We were out last night, so I couldn't tell you for sure.
Truly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whoa, it was hookah. You
Oh,
smoked
yeah.
hookah for the first time.
I did
really?
the
Yeah.
hookah for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay, how'd that go?
Yeah.
Any?
It went well.
Mm.
It went well. It was
Yeah.
good.
Is it what you expected? Did you what was it flavored like?
Yeah, it was
blackberry.
blackberry.
Okay.
Blackberry.
Okay.
It was nice. I used to do vapes, but then I quit that. I did vapes all throughout high school.
Mm-hmm.
Quit nicotine, and so smoking the hookah was a nice little like.
Yeah, that's good. I'm like the opposite. I never had any type. I only messed around with hookah for a little bit just because like you know I was around. But yeah, I mean it's cool.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
it's interesting. I had a guest on named Jaden Reichel,
Mhm.
and he's a pro wakeboarder. I live in Clermont, so it's the chain of lakes. There's so many lakes there. A lot of like pro wakeboarders, wake surfers, skiers.
Lake County.
They all stay there. He basically told me this was he came into the studio. He's like, this is the first time I wore shoes in like 3 weeks. And apparently the man does not wear shoes anywhere unless he absolutely has to. He'll walk into Publix without shoes.
Yeah, see, he lives what he preaches. You know what I mean? He
That's
lives
crazy
his
shit,
lifestyle.
though, bruh. That's crazy going to fucking Publix with no shoes on.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I wish
bro.
I saw the bottom of his feet.
I mean, Florida, like, I mean, people just walk around with sandals or no shoes, I guess, at this point. I see myself doing that a lot, like, especially, like, having all these sneakers. I'm always in slides. I'm always in, like, I'm not utilizing most of them for the most part, but
Yeah.
always the slides.
that's Florida.
When you're wearing super expensive shoes, are you super like nervous when you're walking around? Like, am I walking in the right spot? Oh, there's a puddle. Fuck.
Not necessarily. Plus, like, of course, I'm sure, like, I would prepare for the occasion. You know what I mean? Like, if I see it's not something to wear that to, like, I'll be a little careful. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't really wear too many of the crazy shoes. Like, again, for me, it's most like just a profit. I actually, I guess, like, a lot of people call me like a hoarder because, like, they're the most expensive ones, the things that like I'm supposed to be wearing, I just enjoy having them because I know that it'll increase. So if I have something crazy on, I'll just enjoy them. Honestly, I'm not too concerned as in like, oh, don't step on my shoes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just how it goes.
You would never put on, like when people put the plastic bags over the shoes.
Actually, in school, I would do that because
No way.
I'm from Maryland, and it snows, it rains, but like
Okay.
especially condition wise, like I had to walk to school a ton.
Ooh.
If not, like, again, the bus is on me. Like, if I want to wake up in time and I miss the bus, my mom's like, all right, well, do your thing, like, start walking. So it's like, yeah. So if it's on me, I'm not trying to walk through the mud. So I mean, I've definitely put like plastic bags. I used to have them strapped up in my backpack, you know, just like an extra pair just in case that on the way back it rains again. I'm prepared.
Did the fam ever, when you first got into like reselling and sneakers overall and doing what you do now, which we'll dig into what all the other things you're doing, have they always been super supportive and understanding of what's going on?
So, I mean, by fam, just so that everyone knows, like, so it's my grandma, my mom. I'm not going to lie. Like, obviously my grandma's very like Russian still. So she doesn't really, speak fluently, or she'll understand most of it. And for her, it's just like, I guess everything's very fresh and new, just so interesting. Like, she can't really relate. So everything I like kind of did, she was like always doubtful. But that's expected, of course. I never let that just be like, oh no, because she thinks that, like, I'm gonna think twice. But of course, they helped with thinking like logistically, because they're concerned. They have no experience prior. They're not like, some families have like entrepreneurs, business, or like none of that at all. So for them, it's like very much like, we're worried that what you're going to do is just gonna flop entirely. And then as like growing up, like, we didn't have much. We didn't have access to a lot. And like the value of $1 was like very important. So it was just like, instead of utilizing this to help, it's like going to only like waste your stuff. So nah, it took some convincing. I mean, not that I like was just gonna do whatever I want. I wanted to build, like, you know, keep a good relationship. So I just kind of worked my way in. I remember, obviously, like, I bought like a Bape hoodie, like the shark hoodie, like the full zip, and my mom obviously absolutely roasted me, and she was like, you know, Halloween's not right now, and I'm like, yeah. So she she got in my case, and I brought it back from like an event, and I like told her not the right price, so that way she would like not be concerned. But then of course I had my boy with me, and it was like, didn't you say you paid $250 for that hoodie? I'm like, okay, all right, cool. So then I heard it from her, like I said, like a not a strict parent, but like a Russian parent, like people will get that. So once I like sold that for more, and she was like, okay, I guess you got lucky, and then it just spiraled from there. But nah, on like stereotypical, like, there was never like, oh, here's your birthday, here's a new pair of sneakers, like that's never. Like I think a few times, of course, like my parents and like a few like family relatives were trying to like help out and stuff. They're like, oh, what is he like? I'm like, no, like I never really wanted support in that case, because it's like, to me it was just important, not like a satisfaction thing, but just if I can do it, like I really want to do it. So I never really got any of that stuff. Even like now I receive a few gifts and free sneakers, it's majority like they were just kind of like, I guess we'll have to wait and see, like, you know what I mean, they'll have to just find out.
Is that what you gift? Sneakers?
I mean, a lot, yeah. I would say again, being in this kind of like space, I kind of like know what my friends like, and like I know what even like clients, just because I have a lot of like repeat business. Back in the day, if I was to sell in bulk, like let's say I would sell, like I know one of my boys really likes this specific Easy model, and you know, like, so that I would do gifts, I would do stuff like that, but just depending on the person.
Oh yeah, dope.
What's driving you so much? I feel like a lot of people that are, you know, as young as us, early 20s or even early teens or late teens, I guess you could say. There's definitely a specific factor to us that we want it so bad, and we all have some kind of reason that drives us. So what drove you so much to be here?
Like, again, not to sound like that, but just like you said, not that we all really want it, but I guess I had that, like, from seeing it. Not only do we have like the expensive taste, the, you know, the imagination of just like, not only like, not saying that it's not real, but we all want nice things at the end of the day. And like initially it was just, I would see these shoes at sneaker events and I'd be like, wow, I just want to get to a point in my life to where like I can purchase this and it won't affect my financial case. So like it is something just to like push myself forward, but it was never really like, I never really had a problem with like I don't know how. It's like, I guess it's just natural for my like, just the way I was raised, the way I was born. It was just because if I don't do it, no one else will. So like if I saw my mom growing up in the situation that we were in, having like limitations, restrictions, issues with this and that, I understood that like if I don't fix this, no one else will fix this, and it will just remain constant. And then like, yeah, of course life goes on, we want to enjoy it to our fullest, but for me, like, I don't know, I just had this like just internal drive to just, I want to do something to where, whether it's sneakers or what, so that way I can get my mom out of the situation and I can get them to proceed to see that like, okay, well, you did this, like I exist now because of you, and essentially, but yeah, like it's not even for myself at the moment. Of course I'll get around to that. Like I hope to just be able to do that and more. But yeah, it was just all because I want to not like to have like parents say, oh, I'm proud of you, whatever. Like I just want them to enjoy basically what they never were able to enjoy. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, it's cheesy as it is. Yeah.
So you're from Ukraine. Do you still have family in Ukraine right now?
No. So I've been there once when I was 14, I believe. My mom took me, but again, I was very big into skating, so I unfortunately didn't really pay too much attention on basically on like just like worrying about skate spots. But I met my mom's father, but he passed a while ago. So no, I personally don't believe I have any like close family there anymore. Everyone kind of like shifted over here basically. Yeah. So of course my mom will still have like her side of it, but I don't speak to anyone out there. I was born here, and I like, again, it's Ukrainian, but I only speak Russian. I don't know anything about Ukraine as far as besides like culture stuff. Gotcha.
Have you ever been into BMX? I know you're into skateboarding back then.
I mean, again, I know like everyone kind of had like a bike. I never had a bike growing up.
Yeah.
If
They're
I did,
expensive too.
I mean, yeah, but like again, like for me, like I said, like I really had no access to nothing. So if I was on a bike, I was kind of just like borrowing a friend's or just kind of just whatever someone had in the neighborhood, some rusted old little scrap. So that I never really enjoyed the potential. But I used to go to a lot of skate parks, like the indoor ones and like the camps. And there'd be a ton of BMXers. There'd be like a ton of like those like really like crazy like the backflips. They would be doing all those. So I appreciate it. I mean, I can see how it's wild, but I never really got into any of that.
I remember when I lived out here in 20 minutes from here, Doral, Miami. My parents hated that I liked skating, bro. And I used to play Skate 3 on Xbox and everything.
Yeah.
And then our apartment had, obviously every apartment complex out here has like a community like trash that you take it to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking out the trash one day and I see this skateboard. And I flip it around and it says Plan B. And that's how I started skating, bro. I grabbed it and my parents were like, yo, you can't use that, blah, blah, blah. I hit it. And every time like they would go work, I would always skate, bro. It's something about the skate culture that's really very like everybody's like very interconnected. It's like a certain feeling.
Yeah, no, I fully get that. It's very free because again, a lot of sports they have like rules and teams and just certain like regulations. Of course, that's the point. Like that they enjoy that. But like skating is just like you get to just do what you want, when you want, how you want it, and that's like the reckless kind of image that they put out. Even the games, like even the skate games, it's all about like, you know, like do what the hell you want to do, like bullshit this, do straight up. So that's just kind of like, again, for me, I felt like if anything, if whatever, like if someone's busy, like or my friends back home, like or whatever, I'll just grab my board and just explore. There's always people at the park too, so like it's like a place of where like you can go and like everyone's very like no one really cares about who you are or what you do. It's just a matter of like, oh, it's good, bro, and then that's it. You just skate. So it was cool.
I got thrashed longboarding. Bad, man.
I'm scared to do that, honestly. Like even though
really
skating's probably like, I mean, there's ways to get way more hurt, but I had a bunch of friends back then who like I actually started filming a little, and they were all like longboarding or like cruising with like a film camera, but they're like flying down these hills, and I'm too scared to do that. Like one little slip up and like you're done. So
it's true. Watching those longboarding videos of them bombing steep hills with curves.
It's scary to me. I mean, that's wild.
Yeah,
it's
the adrenaline that drives them, but like for me, it's like I just get too worried about that.
Yeah.
Is this like a Raph Simmons type of collab? Because that's how I was telling
the shoes.
Yeah, the shoes. It's like a really interesting
concept. So that's the point. This is like mimicking like the Rick Owens.
Rick Owens is what I meant.
Yeah. No, you're good. But Raph is
yeah.
also
a little similar.
Of course, right. Yeah. And then the obviously like the Jordan 1 aesthetic. This is like the Rick Dunk tongue. And then they did like the laces, like I said, like they would. It's like they collaborated, and like the inside's leather. It's like it's cool. That's why I enjoy it. Just because I mean, like you get to wear exotic things, or just in general, it's like something that like I believe is like a unique way of just standing out in a way that's cool to me.
Truly. To segue back a little bit about the whole skateboarding topic, it's so weird to me. I understand there's of course there's a culture to it, like a culture with any sport or like anything anybody does. But like parents won't even let their kids take a piece of wood with wheels on it and skate on it because of a culture. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I didn't have the hardest time with it, but I definitely remember, especially my grandmother would always be like, all right, well, when it's dark out, come inside, don't skate at night. They would never like say like, oh yay, like you're at the skate park. Like I would call like I would have to resort on public transportation for everything. So thankfully, well, in their way, like they would be like, no, I'm not taking you to the skate park, like stuff like that.
Wow.
But it's mostly like my grandparents had a car, so they would drive me around just because they understood that like I'm gonna get there regardless. So it's a lot easier and safer for them to transport me there, as well as like make sure that I was pretty young. I was probably like 12, 13, and like they would be like, yeah, you need to have a helmet, etc. And like I did, like I followed the law. And the indoor parks, a lot of them require that, and a lot of them, there was finally a point in time like my mom's a photographer, like she just does that as a hobby, so she would come just like grab pictures, memories, because she's like, okay, so this is what he enjoys doing, this is what he wants to do, so it's like an important like era in his life, so let's let him do his thing, just like
that's wholesome as fuck.
I really,
that's awesome, bro.
That's why I have such like utmost respect. I was just really close to my mom, and like now I can look back and say like I'm glad, because there's pictures of like my old buddies that we used to skate and do just shenanigans and whatnot, but it was great to have you know, them not be like, no, give me your skateboard, like you're not going outside. Like, nah, it was never like that.
Yeah. Watching like YouTube, I've gone down the rabbit hole of like the skateboard freak out videos where some random people on the street will freak out on some skateboarders and they're like, dude, what's the problem? We're just skating. And it's crazy.
Not only lived that, I also would sit there countless nights, just YouTube, like bales, like Thrasher ones where people like just destroy themselves.
Hall of Meat.
Yeah. I'm glad you know.
Sure.
Hall of Meat. I would do like the battle at the barracks. It's like the skate competitions where like they have to battle. It's like horse and basketball. But it was just the whole vibe, literally, like everything. I used to skate in dunks, like now, like the ones that go for like thousands of dollars. Like well, that wasn't the case back then. Plus, no one really knew any better, so it was always integrated. And then obviously as a skater, not to say that it's all about shoes, but they still have their distinctive like taste. Like everyone likes their own skate shoe. Everyone has their own like preference.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of like began. Oh, I don't want to just have a regular Vans. I want to diversify and see what else is out there. And then that's what evolved in the sneaker culture, more like the skate culture.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I was gonna ask, since we're talking about dunks,
Mm-hmm.
do you think, because obviously, like you said, people weren't really recognizing dunks back then, et cetera, and now they're going for all these types of different prices. Do you think Virgil's impact on his designs are what really made them blow up? Like his first like collab with the dunks.
The ones with the laces. Yeah, not the 50, but yeah, I would definitely say Virgil. Yeah, the Virgil had a crazy effect. Obviously, like impacted it more than I would say anyone at the time, but it's definitely a lot of factors at once, for sure. I mean, I even remember there was a point in time where people were giving Travis the credit, saying like he posted up in some very like classical ones, and people just kind of like, oh, I remember those, and the old heads kind of like popped out, and then they were on the scene, and then like all the hype beasts were like, oh, this is what's cool now, so I guess we'll hop on it, and then it just kind of like oversurged, and Virgil definitely killed it like that. To me, I mean, I don't have any of the 50, ironically, like, I mean, even though there's a lot of them, I do have the like the classic, the ones that you're talking about, and I remember
the red and gray ones.
I have the red and gray, the green,
Fire.
and then I'm not really a fan of the Michigan colorway.
Me neither.
Yeah, it's not really like something I would wear, but I mean, they're in inventory.
Yeah, I have a pair of Michigans. They're not the off-white ones, but
I know what you mean.
It's the ones that came out maybe a year ago. They re-released them.
Right.
And I never wear them. I don't know what it is about that colorway.
Yeah.
But I think Virgil's impact was huge, and I definitely want to get your take on that, because
I think not even dunks, of course, just I mean, that man changed everything, not only because of I'm sure you know, but like when he did like Pyrex, when he started,
absolutely.
when I was in these sneaker events, that's what I saw, like the champion shorts with the little like the safety design on them, like this entire area. I used to
throwbacks right now,
that's what I was on. And like back then I didn't really like specifically dress in any way. I just kind of like threw on whatever. I had more of like just like a minimalistic, like I worked at PacSun for years, so I would just be drenched in PacSun. But like every event I would go to, like I would have like sneakers, and then just like not what they expect, not designer, none of that, just like PacSun clothes, like whatever clothes. But when I wanted to start getting in more into like like not just regular sweat shorts or not just basketball shorts, those popped up, and then the older off-white tees with like the huge designs and like the Caravaggio with the little art, that spiked it, and that blew up. And of course that Virgil went greater and diversified more after that, so that was a whole like explosion basically.
Rest in peace, Virgil,
for sure. Exactly.
He really didn't change the game. He inspired a lot of people.
It's completely like a one of one. No one's ever going to be able to come in and replicate nearly as impactful as this man like really did the impossible.
He used a lot of psychology with his art and with his pieces. He really liked to kind of create the environment around the piece to kind of praise it more and make it more, a lot more, how do I say it? Basically demonstrate it in a more magnificent way than it already was.
Yeah,
he really knew how to do that.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's not just like, oh, you're buying just another designer tee. It's more or less like, well, at least I paid attention. Like seasonally, he would change the neck tags.
Yes,
he would. He would have like I have a bunch of shirts back in the day, and people would like clown me for it, but like they come with like a tag that goes all the way down the shirt. It's like a super long piece of cloth, and I remember like I never wanted to cut it off just because it's like part of the shirt.
It is, yeah.
But then realistically, it's like hangs and stuff, and there would always be some type of like extra, like I guess thought out design or detail that normally, like if you're buying, I don't know, like I don't want to say Off-White is a design. Like, of course it's a designer, but it's not like Louis or Gucci to where, to where it's like specifically always like just a logo, and then that's it. They let the logo speak. Like, obviously Virgil mixed color palettes, distressing, and like various countless, like I have Off-White pants with like zippers and cargos and etc.
He was always doing something different. It's really interesting.
I'm very grateful.
And it makes sense why he ended up at Louis Vuitton. Yeah,
like I said, like that was the perfect placement. And then those Air Forces now, we
were just talking about those last night. They're going for over $100,000.
I've seen listings. I'm not too deep into like sneaker releases and whatnot, but again, you can't really miss out on that one.
Yeah,
it's like the Dior, like the Dior Jordans that, like, even if you don't know about shoes, like you've seen those shoes, like you've heard of those shoes. Yep. So yeah, the Virgil ones, that unreal. Like, I mean, highly doubt I'll ever get my hands on them, but the fact that they exist, I'm just glad that Virgil got like that. You know what I mean? Like that's forever history.
Yeah. Is there a piece you have that's like bigger than life that holds some sort of innate value to you? Like a specific piece where you just look at it and you're like, you know what, this is just my favorite. Like somehow you pick it.
I really couldn't probably pick of one. I have a few very memorable. Like I have a pair of Jordans that are not wearable because they're from '99, so the year I was born. They're they're the white cement 4s. Yeah. From the night, and to me, again, just more or less, of course the shoe itself is cool because it was like made in my year, but I remember not back in the day, but years ago, I did YouTube for like a year, and it was more or less when I was like in the sneaker YouTube and I was doing like unboxings, etc. I would go to these sneaker conventions and I had like a booth, I had like my own little sign, it was one of those like I was there to sell shoes, of course, but then again, when people were like, oh, like back then I went as AM Sneakers, like my initials and then Sneakers. So that was like my thing, my name, and people were like, oh, that's you, like, what's up? Like, and then I realized like, okay, there's more to this, but someone actually, I wish I still had his name, but this was so long ago. He basically, like, we were talking for a little bit. I think I sold him some stuff, and he just gave me them. Like, he gave me that shoe, and it wasn't wearable at the time. It was still like that old. And he, like, he was just like, oh, bro, like, they're whatever, like, they have no value to him. But for me, again, not that I can wear them, but I have them like in the like glass, like people know, like the little glass containers. Yeah. So it's cool just to have that as in like not that it's the most exclusive or like a rarity thing, but to me it makes sense. Yeah. It holds value. And then, I mean, other than that, a few things that I've won or have gotten as a gift, like when I worked at PacSun, I was fortunate to get like the Fear of God stuff for free. Sick. Like the van. So like, of course, those that, since they were gifted and like sent to me, specifically to me, just because of like that factor, again, that's probably like one of the pieces that like I would admire and say the best.
Yeah, that's like the question of like, who's the best basketball player ever? It's like, I can tell you a top 10, but I can't necessarily give you.
It's always subjective. Yeah.
How
about you?
Who the best basketball player ever is?
No, who's what? You got a favorite piece?
You're asking me. It's probably like whatever shirt fits best on me. Yeah. No. I don't have a favorite piece.
Clothes too. I mean, I the plethora of clothes I have, I just kind of cycle around the same style. That it's the fit. It's for me now more days. It's more like the brand too. Like, believe it or not, like not about designer, but like a lot of my boys have brands and a lot of them have their own thing going on. So I'd rather just wear that, and there's more meaning behind it because it's not just some like manufacturing, like distribution. Yeah,
I've always respected the fuck out of fashion, but I've never gotten into that. This man has been pitting me into the trenches, showing me shit, different, like just different everything.
I've been in here since like 2016. I used to resell shoes slightly, nowhere near on the low that you did. But I did for a while. I followed Kanye. I still do with Travis, all these people. Yeah. So it's been a whole roller coaster. So
I see the slides. I see the Gucci chain.
These are like a year old, but know.
But believe it or not, those made some good stuff for me. I easily sold 100 of those.
Wow.
Like, damn. I remember they were at 160 when I started like understanding that there's so much demand for these damn slides. They were like 160, and I've had a few people I knew at Gucci. So not that it's like, oh, because of that it assisted, and of course I just had a plethora, but now they're like, I think they retail like 220 or 250, but that just proves that the world we live in. But
my boy Tenke, he just went over there, but he used to have them in high school, and I would see him in high school wearing them all the time. I'm like, damn, like, this shit's a spot. Yeah. And I just had to get my hands on one of them one day, and I was like,
they cool. They definitely like
they last.
They last, and they really made their Air Force wave. They
straight
there was a point where like, bro, like I seen girls in them, like moms in them, like I got my grandma a pair. I had my grandma Gucci slides.
Shout out Gma.
Yes,
we love you.
straight up.
Yeah.
But I had like a size 5 or 6 from like an event. Some kid was selling them. He was just like, well, these are my exes. I don't need these no more. And like I was like, bad, like I got you. And then I literally brought him home. My grandma was like, what's so significant? I was like, Gucci, come on now.
Yeah.
And then but like
You know it.
yeah, but she knows the brand, but she doesn't know the effect. Like I had her running around like imagine she told me she went to the mall and everyone was like, damn, all right, like
No.
like
Wow.
grandma in the
slides.
Gucci's, like people
Oh,
just
yeah.
come to her and be like, those slides are like and then she's like, oh yeah, my grandson. It's so funny, but yeah, those also are cool to me because again, like I put like everyone in them things.
Hell yeah.
Nostalgic thing for sure.
Maybe, do you remember where you bought those from?
I bought these at Millennium Mall in Orlando. Yeah,
Okay.
Damn, yeah, probably. Like
Could you imagine full circle
February.
right now? It's like those are.
Imagine
ones you sold.
I somehow
Yeah,
ended
right?
up having
Imagine.
those.
Yeah.
No, a lot of them I think I initially bought from like retail, and then I got into these events and they were going for cheaper. You know, there was always always a way to find them. But they have the ones with the mountain bottom and like the little grips, and then they have the flat ones. So that gave me again even more opportunity because some people want the bottoms. Like I remember a lot of the girls were like, you know, they're like, oh, they make me taller or whatever. Like so they there's always a purpose for it.
That's why I kind of like the Air Forces. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Even my mom came up to me. She's like, "Have you gotten taller?" I'm like,
But you're just tall
yeah,
in
baby
general,
girl.
so you're
He
good.
is
Yeah.
tall.
You're good. at it.
Imagine being tall and then getting even taller, bro.
Yeah,
It's
crazy.
insane.
And my brother be hating on me because I put these on. When I had them brand new, they were much taller. I branded them into the floor, but he was like, "Bro, yeah, stop wearing them shits around me."
Yo, there's the brands are getting excessive though. There's so many like men's platform shoes that are like this now. Like
Yeah.
they're like intense, but yeah, those are a staple.
I have a pair of they're in the room over there. I have a pair of Target boots, and they look like some Yeezy boots, bro.
Okay, yeah.
And everybody's like,
Oh, the
bro.
military ones, right?
Yeah, there's some.
Yeah.
But speaking of thick, they're just like this thick, and I wear them all the time. And I feel like I'm fucking like 6'5".
Bro, that's all you
bro.
need. Target or not, they get the job done.
Yeah,
That's-
bro, absolutely,
Where,
bro.
like, it's not where they come from; it's where they're at.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's,
mean? Like,
it's how you wear them too. You know.
of course.
So,
So we've talked a lot about sneakers.
Yeah.
And your story in a little bit. What you do social media marketing?
Yeah. So that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot at once. But essentially, like, I feel like the word marketing just gets kind of like, I mean,
Lost in translation. a
Yeah,
little
That's
bit.
so funny
It
because
does.
I was thinking about that when we were talking about it earlier. I feel like marketing is just so
it's
tossed around.
loosely used.
it's so easy to use and just be like, that's what I do. But
Yeah.
realistically, like, I feel like it's such a broad term. But yeah, at the end of the day, but like when people think of marketing, I feel like they think of like ads, they think of things that I actually don't do. But that's why I kind of like usually have to go more in depth. But I literally never ran an ad. I've never done that. I was just very interested and fond of the way that like people are making careers out of social media. Like, again, like I said, growing up, working 9 to 5s, working all these jobs, I was just like, all right, there's got to be something else to this. And then seeing like the internet and seeing how people would like literally change it all up, and they're doing it through various different methods and whatnot. Like, and there's always someone that's like, yeah, I do marketing. So I was like the guy that would watch those guys that claim that they do marketing, but whether or not they did or didn't, it was just a learning experience for me. So then I like dabbled my way in. I did what I needed to do, and I met some, whether or not it's people, whether or not it's methods, whether or not it's just trial and error. I got to like just get more in depth, like primary source. So now I supply with like internal access. I have the capabilities to run like analytics, to do like placement. Like everyone wants to be on the Explore page instead of an ads because it doesn't say sponsored. So like I can do that.
Wow.
I can do whatever. Like, again, not to sound like that guy, but like, I mean, I can get it done. Like whatever they have in mind. It's just a matter of like what platform, especially like YouTube, TikTok, Spotify. It's huge. Like, it's not just one little like, oh, I can run ads for you, because like I said, that to me, that's an invaluable service. Like, you yourself can run ads. It's not that difficult. You can find out how to do it. But my marketing is like, it's unobtainable, or it's not something that anyone else can just possibly like replicate.
Yeah.
From what sorry, we said
you're
at the
good,
same
you're
time.
good, you're
We're like best friends now.
Yeah.
I totally forgot my
Oh.
thoughts.
I was gonna say what I
We'll
was
start
trying to
here,
get at
we'll
is
start
it's really interesting to hear that, because you've basically generated a formula that creates a very organic way of growing your your profile on that platform, which is very rare nowadays. Everything is just yo, I'm finna throw like 10K into my account and grow like 50,000 subscribers over the past next 6 months. It's like you do it in a way where it's like you're really creating a very consistent following that actually engages with you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, of course. And believe it or not, like, again, it's not something that even people speak about, but like I came up and I started it all out, and to this day, I guess majority of my like clientele or whatever you want to call it, a lot of it's like you said, it's, believe it or not, it is artificial. Like people do always, like, of course, why would someone not want the authentic or organic approach? But at times it's not what suits best. Like it's not like you can take that recipe and apply it to every person. Like sure, anyone can really do it, but not everyone can be successful by it. So it's like whatever works, kind of like case by case. So like, yeah, I mean, for me, it's like you said, I found an approach. I'm not gonna lie, like what I found isn't something that I could quote unquote, like, I mean, I could do courses and stuff, but that's giving people a broad amount of information. It's not really going to like impact them. It's just more like a money scheme. So like I genuinely kind of, in my own opinion, like I believe in like doing it organically, of course, but there's at one point, because of the way that these apps work and the way that they're like operating and giving us such a hard time, like there's many cases where people kind of like just resort to like shout out for shout out, whatever works really.
Wow.
When you meet with someone and they're asking for your help, but they're not willing to create the content or create the post or the nice, aesthetic vibe to the pictures, what do you do when they're like, hey, get me to this amount of followers, but they're not pushing? Because from what I've done so far with the show and my personal brand, which is like basketball, some gaming, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Basically, how I've gotten here is just making like reels and TikToks and the long form podcast and clipping and networking with amazing people like you.
Thank you.
And it's just like pushed to the For You page because I've been like, okay, people don't like this, or this needs a hook. This needs 2 stories going at the same time. And then when you meet with somebody who's not doing any of those things, where do you go from there?
Well, I mean, I'm glad to say, I'm grateful to say that majority of the people that I do deal with are either someone already like at that point to where they have either been at like a time frame where like they had the spotlight or they had the relevancy, they had an amount of success to where like they are in a position to where they are today, whether or not it like slowed down, whether or not they're like fan base or so like kind of just dialed away. So a majority of it is like, when it comes to like musicians, artists, it's, I prefer, and of course, just for both ends of the spectrum to succeed, I prefer if it's not just like someone who does have like 1,000 followers or does have like the ambition to be like the up and coming rapper, or like, oh, my music's the best music. I tend to stray away just because, again, not to say that like they do need the most assistance, but it's not something that will really value them, because sure, they can invest in their account and invest in their career, but that's what a majority, in my opinion, that's what these marketers do. And in case of where they know that, like, let's say this couple $100 that this artist has, which is not like, that's like everything they have, you know what I mean? They should be worried about like getting their music the best quality. But when it comes to like what you said, content creation, whatnot, I've never, like, I've always had that person like just does it. They already kind of have that establishment, and they just need the assistance of getting it seen.
I'm assuming if they're reaching out to somebody, especially someone of your stature who has been doing it, they probably have some sort of platform created.
I do get like the like, yo, like I'm I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I get the occasional, even my friends from back home, they're like, oh, I'm a college student, or I do this, I do that, like I want to do more, like how can I do this? And as much as I can, I will respond and I will tell them all that, and like not even like a charge. I'm just like, hey, just understand that it's not like, it's like Instagram is fake, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, Instagram is in real life. The money is real though. So it's like, it's what you want to do out of it. If it's something that you want to become like a business owner, then yeah. But if like a lot of people are just seeking like recognition or clout or whatever you want to call it, if that's the case, then again, like it's whatever they got going on, like whatever they want, like I'm down to do it, just because again, with the access that I have and the kind of like the leverage and like the value that I want to provide is just to kind of spread it as much as I can. But yeah, I feel like for the one thing I don't do is like agencies and managers do like content creation and all that. Like that's on them. I'm just running the analytics.
Gotcha.
Straight up.
Okay,
yeah.
I see.
That's awesome.
I've done it in the past. Like I've had like a model, for example, like like the Instagram models and stuff, like where like they would send over a folder and it's like, hey, like I don't want, like, they're busy, they have stuff to do, so they're like, like I don't want to do none of this shit, just like do it, run it, do what you need to do. Like I've done that for businesses, I've done that for like the sneaker pages and whatnot, but ideally that's a time thing. Ideally that's like somewhere where like you would have to start hiring, and which who knows where I'll get, but at the moment I just kind of want to do things kind of like solo, so I can soak up all the knowledge and like really make sure that like I can maximize it before I advance to getting to that step.
Okay.
So yeah.
Can we speak about who you're working with from our friend group?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. I just didn't know if there was any overlay there.
No, you're good.
He's basically doing that for artists we believe in. He's already proved himself. He's growing like crazy. TJE, aka, I mean, his name's TJ Williams. Great guy, amazing. Out of Orlando, doing studio sessions every weekend, and
2-3 times a week.
Yeah. I want you to explain what you're doing with him.
I think it's really important to kind of focus on the analytics side of things like you do. And that's something that I've really been like kind of realizing, because managing whether it's an artist or an influencer or an athlete on these socials, no matter what, as much as you want to kind of perfect the process that other people might think is the right process, a lot of the following and a lot of the engagement really comes from the analytics and the target audiences that you are hitting.
Yep.
And I'm sure you know that, but that's definitely what I've been realizing, and it's been awesome to kind of like be a content creator for a creator already, just kind of working collaboratively and knowing that this person is trying to grow on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
So I do agree with you strongly on the analytics side of things. I think it has a lot more to do with that if you want to hit the right audience. I mean, there's so many people on earth that can follow you. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say to agree with what you said. A lot of times, I mean, of course, Instagram's Instagram, but a lot, I guess, whoever you meet, I get various, whether or not it's assumptions around, like, they're like, oh, like, he's an influencer, oh, he's this and that. Like, I personally, like, I don't think that's my case. I'm just around that. So like you said, like, I'm not an artist, I'm not an influencer, but I am in the space and I'm just like there to assist. I do back end, this, whatever. And that's what kind of like, that's the fun of it, because that way I learn the business side of it, and I learn that, like, I don't learn it through myself. Like, I don't have to experience or go through like the internet drama or like getting canceled or like worrying with anything on that end. I just kind of like sit there and I'm like, oh, well, okay, cool, whatever. I see it, I laugh, my boys and I talk about it, whatever the case may be, and we just kind of like move on to the next internet related trend. And like, if you know how to capitalize on it, if you know how to network around it, it's just the fun of it. It's like a good little virtual game with a bunch of different opportunities. Like there's a level here.
Good way to put it.
Like I always say, like there's always like phases and stuff. So like, all right, I already did what needed to be done here. Like, all right, it's time to go out of bounds.
Yeah.
I remember, upgrading my guy in NBA 2K and becoming like a 99 overall every single badge. I'm like, why don't I stand up and go outside and like make myself a 99 overall?
Oh my God.
So I go from that virtual. I go from that virtual to like real life. There's a good balance.
I think that type of, I don't know if, how do I say it, bro? We've talked about that before, how I'm really involved with everything that he's doing, but I'm very much in the back end of things. And he's like, Kenneth, like this and that. And like people are seeing you. And I'm like, bro, like I really enjoy that same kind of path. It's like, I don't have to deal with all the drama or any type of shit. It's like, I'm doing my own thing and I'm enjoying it. And I'm surrounded by the people that I want to, whether it's influencers or artists or traders or anything. I think it's really interesting to kind of just chill. And to follow up on that, I wanted to ask you, since you're managing all these, not managing these pages, I guess you could say kind of manage these pages.
It just depends on the page.
And help them out. You obviously have realized how fake this social media stuff is. Has it really made you immune to like really wanting to even post at that point? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
it's like,
I think not to over talk on it, but I like 2018, 2019, I was at that point where like I had the ambition and I had the like, the overall like dream, just like anyone, like, oh, I want to be an influencer too. Like, I want to have an impact. I think it's cool to just be able to generate not only like, I mean, the following is great and all, but like what you do with the following matters. Obviously, I never saw it as in like, oh, I want to sell merch or I want to sell like products based on myself. I would never really want to like put my face on anything, but yeah, that exactly with what you said. Like I saw how it works, I saw how it goes, and I'd rather just kind of like enjoy the process, not dealing with that stuff. So it's more fun, believe it or not, just because it's like you see like it's similar to like a game. Like you see a bunch of different characters, like they got their stuff going on. There's always something to like keep up on. So I mean, the only time I was really like fazed by it was like that little era, to where like I was just so caught up in like getting the likes, getting the comments. Everyone goes through it, and like whether or not they want to like talk about it, whether or not they just want to admit it, or whatever. But there is a point in time where like everyone just like glances at it and like, damn, like I worked, like I still do occasionally, but my roommate back in Maryland and I used to like strategically go out and like we would shoot like fit pics. Like it was, to us it was a thing. And like back when I did like sneaker convention, it was important because again, like what you're wearing matters because that's like your image.
Yep.
Where you're surrounding yourself. Again, that's everything is like not tracked, but that's your image. Like I can't just post pictures like I said like selfies or stuff like that just because it wouldn't work the same way. So I would go to these locations, find like unique outfits to like whether or not like coordinate or match. Back then it's like, oh, this new Supreme, it was a lot of it was Supreme, but like like let's say like, you know, Supreme drops, but I have it early because of just my access. So it was important to me to make sure like I was like posted up in it early and all that. And then when it doesn't receive the initial like kind of like hype, I'm like, it's kind of annoying. It does give you like, this deserves more, but like who am I to say like how much more does it deserve? So I just kind of at one point like had a little pause, had a little like reflection and whatnot. And then Instagram brought the hiding the likes feature, and that was actually the best thing that they could have done. And like again, I see everything as a business, but for me, what that meant, that unlocked the thing of like, okay, great. So now I am no longer worried about my account. Like that was the point in time where like I don't care anymore. I'm already here. I understand what this is for. And that's when I started doing my aggressive marketing and aggressive seeking, to where I see the artists that I've already worked with. I see the clients that I've already dealt with, whether or not they're like YouTubers, creators, influencers. They all started hiding the likes. And that created a wave of just like, oh, because Instagram is meant to just display what you want displayed. It's not about how cool you are. It's not about how attractive someone is. It's not about attention seeking. It's just do what you want to do, show it to the world, and do what you got to do. But of course, with the business outlook, it's, you know, it's something that is a minor like importance factor, because again, if everything is well, if everything is successful, there's just no reason for it. And it's again it's depending on how you see it and whatnot. But yeah, that's what made me really transition. Like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, of course, I'm always going to care about my page because that's just me. Like, the bigger the page is, the bigger I have to operate. I can get more opportunities from it. But I strayed away from prioritizing myself and kind of prioritized what can I do in order to just put more out there and like help other pages more, because at the end of the day it'll come back.
Yeah, this is a cheesy saying and there's a healthy balance to it, but you know, never get too high, never get too low. Like honestly, with, you know, the game we're in, the social media stuff, like you said, of course you want numbers here and there because this is what you do. This is what I do. But if you focus on that, it's going to become unhealthy. But if you have a video that does insane, or whatever does insane, or a super successful night, or, you know, you met somebody you've been meaning to meet for a long time, you can't get too high. You got to stay to earth. And then that way it'll remind yourself to never get too low. When the views, say you release 3 podcast clips and your favorite podcast yet, and you're so excited for your, you know, following to see it, and it gets like, say, like 8 views. That's okay. That's not why we do it. It's not why we do it.
Yeah, but it gets very difficult because obviously we say it to ourselves, we repeat it to ourselves, but it's more like because it's not like we just, and ironically that's usually how it goes. If I was to like go on like, let's say like a business trip or like a vacation, whatever, I'm out, I don't even have like a fit plan. I just take a picture or whatever, and that does way better than anything that I've actually planned for. It just gets frustrating. But yeah, just like I'm sure you can relate.
That's definitely happened to a bunch of content creators. It's like, oh, we're doing this content calendar, we're gonna make this content this week, and blah, blah, blah. And then for some reason the you know, the content creator makes a video and it doesn't get planned out at all, just gets published and it goes viral. It's like, damn, like what the fuck?
But that's the game. Like that's part of it. So like when people are like, oh, I mean, what do you do? Oh, you do social media. Like that's not a job. Like whatever. Like it has its ins and outs. Just like with any real job. If it was, you know, if anyone can do it, then everyone would do it. You know what I mean? It can't be on easy mode, because that way there's no value. Again, if you could just post and blow up, anyone would be able to do such a thing.
When I first kind of started doing this stuff, above like personal friends and seeing, you know, funny videos I post, because I've always enjoyed making videos, I met with my friend Colby Schnacky, who he is a part of a content house, and you know, he's very his name is his brand. And I remember coming up to him like, hey, just started a podcast, blah blah blah, and we've always been great friends, you know, mutual respect. And he kind of like turned the switch and kind of like looked at me for a second, and he told me every single thing he did that day that was based on his social media, growing his social media, everything he's doing. And he just kept going and going, and it turned out to be like a 16-hour day. And he just got a break to go grab food and talk about what they're going to do tomorrow. Yeah. And I walked away and kind of not understanding why he told me all that. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, this man was like preparing me to be like, hey, like this is quite literally a job.
It's a lot more hours than a 9 to 5. You're working 24/7.
Yeah.
As you work as much as you want. The thing with like when you have a job that's scheduled, or you work for someone, whatever the case may be, you know, you have an expectation, you have an expected like routine, or of course, I mean, I'm not the best like at organizing, but I know people that, like you said, they have content calendars, they have stuff planned in advance. It's like, it's not just a bunch of just clicks and buttons. Like it could be for some, but for some it's something that they live and breathe. Like it really is. And like, I mean, it's great because to each their own, like let everyone express their like wants and socials. Like that's what it's there for. It's like you live your real life, of course, but at the same time, if you can make the media like a part of it, like it just integrates. Like what I was saying earlier, it just becomes natural. It's not like I have to like, oh, time to post, time to fake this, or time to schedule this, or time to like adjust this. It's just like, just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that approach though, for sure.
Yeah, I can't. That's why my, you know, the videos I make outside of the podcast, which this is so fucking enjoyable. I love podcasting. I say I'm going to do this every week until I die. And that's going to be my diary.
This is great.
Yeah. And basketball, those are the videos I make outside. I'm like, I play pickup basketball anyways. Like, let me just get mic'd up, have Kenneth come out, record, play a couple games too. And I'm like, okay, I'll edit the next day at a coffee shop. And you know what? People enjoy the content. And I'm like, this is perfect. Yeah. I don't have to do any like, you know, I bit a fart machine in my friend's room. This is what happened. Yeah. But that stuff's funny to watch. That's cool. It's just not me.
It has its times, but it's definitely true what he says. I do agree with, like, it's more than a 9 to 5. It's we have days all the time where it's like, damn, we just did all that shit today, and you don't really notice either. It's just it's because we do it for the right reasons, and I feel like that's why.
Sneakz, we've prepared a really dope segment for you.
Yeah, actually,
it's called Hit or Miss Shoe Edition.
Okay.
Do you have your phone on you by chance?
My boy got it over there.
Can you possibly grab it so I can airdrop you pictures?
Yeah.
Beautiful. I don't know if your airdrop's on.
This is gonna be interesting. I want to see his takes.
Oh, it's always on.
It's always on.
Oh, you never know who you run around.
Yeah. Get a quick.
That's
meme.
free promo. That's free promo.
That is true.
Keep it on. Keep it always on.
This is true.
Bro, I be in airports and I be in like airplanes and I just see someone try to drop me something. Like it's that random. Like like you really never know.
That is true.
That's true. All right. So I'm gonna send you the picture. You let me know, hit or miss, and then we'll talk about it. My editor's gonna throw it up on the screen for us.
What a goat.
Bailey's the goat, man. My editor, bro. I love this guy to death.
Can you send me it too so I could see what he's looking at?
Yes. I'm gonna send it to you first, Kenneth. So don't react or anything until he's there.
Okay, let's see.
Do you have it on contacts only, or do I have it on contacts only?
You must.
I got it on.
This is gonna be interesting.
Or you know what? I'll text it to you.
For sure.
I haven't even seen this list, so it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I'll get both of your reactions because I know you're in this too, Kenneth.
Okay.
Airdropping to Kenneth Rosa. And this Miami Skyrise, not the best connection. It should be better though, right? Up here.
What?
I have AT&T.
Yeah, so do I. So I know you're paying. It's a hit or miss. Like I don't know why, because we're in the city. It's not like we're in like nowhere in Florida, but I be in so many places where it says no service or it's one bar. Like
I got T-Mobile, bro. It's deadly out here.
Or even you know what I have to deal with in the crib? Like I'll be playing the game, and then my boy will turn on his game, and I'm out. I'm booted.
What's the game?
I usually just play zombies.
Which map?
Cold War, like Outbreak. Like
hell yeah,
the new shit where you could just go to like a bunch of different places. But I used to play like Kino, like all the traditional stuff.
Dude, I played Kino the other night just because I'm like sitting in my room. Yeah. I didn't have anything to do, and I just picked up Kino.
I actually didn't know you can on the PS5 you can like get all the old stuff obviously for free now because like the little PSN thingy. So I just been throwing it back.
Fire.
Yeah.
Throwing it back.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
All right, I'm sending it right now.
Pause.
Pause. Hey yo. All right, you guys should be getting this soon.
I see now.
So, foam runners.
Yeah.
Hit or miss.
He said he goes first, right?
No. You're the guest. What?
Oh, okay.
I just want to see what shoes
what
he
it was
talking
too.
about.
I see. All right. Well, I don't own any. I can say that. I think they're cool to sell, but like to me, I don't. Nah.
Okay.
I'm on the Team Yeezy slide. I'm on the slide wave.
Gotcha.
Rather than the foam runner. But again, that's just from like I put them on and I'm just like, it's not the same. Yeah, it's not my thing.
Okay. Foam runners are a miss.
Sheesh.
All right, let's see here.
They definitely are interesting. They look very interesting.
It's genius actually, because it costs them a few dollars to make, and then if you
It
think
has
about-
to, right? Maybe like
Yeah.
$3-4
You got-
at
yeah.
max.
Oh man,
All
like I couldn't tell you
What
how
do you
much,
think?
but yeah, just probably around there.
Sending now.
I see. Classic. Almost.
Balenciaga triple S's.
Same. I don't think I've ever owned a personal pair. Sold some in the past. I do see the demand. I can see why people like these. For me,
Mhm.
like to own them personally, probably not. Probably a miss. But as far as like colorways, they do have a lot to offer. They've made their staple in fashion, and I mean like overall, I'm gonna give them. I'll say hit, but like for me, like I said, like not personally, but they're definitely up there.
Okay.
This is a very big shoe. It's a staple for Balenciaga because after this came out is when the bulky stuff really started
Literally,
to go crazy, right?
Wave
And then-
Runner, like every sneaker kind of like had their dad shoe moment to where like they were competing for like here's the bulkiest shoe, but not in a way that's like too ugly, but a lot of people liked them. Like, you know, they did their thing.
Kanye's been working with Balenciaga for a while. Do you think he had anything to do with this, and that's why he started dropping like junkier shit after? You think he's biting off him?
I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
I think I'm sure Kanye was ahead of the game. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt to say like he probably was like initially like whatever the word is initially knowing like what is gonna happen, kind of, because that's just like that's his job essentially. Like he was known for doing things with like Louis back before even Nike.
Facts.
That was like already like different, and then he did like a bunch of the new boots that he has like humongous, like the space boots, the moon boots. So I believe he has that like vision.
The boys in the back are like shaking their heads. Like,
That's so ironic because look at your phones. That's the next one, bro. That's so ironic. There they are.
Not what this isn't his shoe though.
Yeah. No.
Oh, this isn't what you're talking about?
This is an edit.
So the
Yeah,
it's
no,
a
this is
meme. It's a
definitely
meme,
right?
No,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the shoes aren't like those aren't Kanye shoes. Those are just
Those are Balenciaga.
So he
That's
just
the
wore
meme.
those straight up.
no, that's the meme. Those aren't it.
What do you mean?
But there's ones that are like normal too.
Oh yeah, but I don't think they're his. Like I don't think they're his shoe.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's a Balenciaga boot.
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
definitely-
okay.
but yeah, it's Balenciaga
I didn't know. They look like a fancy Doc Marten
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
it's-
Oh, that's an interesting take, actually.
or like
now
a
that I think about
black leather Tim.
it. Yeah.
To me, Kanye West looks like a toy you could play with in like the bathtub.
Hey yo,
With these
I actually
on.
know who does this. I actually know the page that does
see
this.
that.
It's one of
It's
my
like you
boys.
pick him up and he move his legs.
that's funny. Yeah, I think they're interesting.
That's a little ironic.
I don't know.
I'm cool on boots. Like I'll wear some boots, but probably not that.
Yeah.
Not the leather Doc Martens.
Okay.
Not that style.
Yeah, those are memed up for sure.
know.
Next shoe.
Here we go. Y'all not ready for this one. Y'all
do you
really
think?
not ready for this one. So these were cool. These were a hit when I was like 5,
Oh,
6.
shit.
Okay.
When I was like in middle school. That's how strongly I feel about these.
Damn.
The Croc Wave I will never stand with. I just don't get it.
Okay.
I can't do it. I see the comfortability. I see the price point. I see the little giblets you can put on. And that's cute and all. Again, if I was in middle school, but
Right.
but again, it's if you want to slip on something to go to like the grocery store, like I see the convenience.
Yeah.
I just think there are far greater things out there, like
The easy slide.
the Easy Slide, for example. Like I mean, those are outdated. Those are kind of
These
dunzo.
are kind of like uncomfortable, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
so
want my-
Crocs, I actually like I hurt my ankle at one point, and like I wore them just because I was kind of like forced to wear them, so
Yeah.
I gave them their little appreciation, like I did it, but like something about me, like I just can't wear them as a real shoe. Like I cannot put a fit on with some Crocs.
Okay.
Like it just doesn't stand right with me.
Big miss.
But like yeah, if it's raining or if you really just gotta go and grab something, I guess. But I don't know why you would have
Yeah.
it in the crib. But yeah, I guess.
I bought a pair of white Crocs once,
Same.
and I left them at a girl's house when I was younger.
Good.
And we stopped talking, and I was too pussy to go back.
Good.
And be like, hey, can I get my Crocs?
I'm glad they're there.
Pretty sure I saw. I'm pretty sure I saw her brother wearing them. But I
That's
love her brother, so I'm
crazy.
like, hey man, if he's wearing them, they're a miss anyways.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying.
You got more?
Big miss. Yeah, I got more.
No.
Come
way.
on, I'm loaded up.
Okay.
Not too many.
That boy
more,
Croc
but-
fiend.
yeah. All right.
All right.
Let's see.
There's like designer versions of them now. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Oh, these. I'm surprised you know what these
Roshis.
are. Yeah, the Roshi runs. I mean, obviously nowadays I don't think anyone's in them right now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
there was a very big run of these. Like I myself I've actually customized a pair. Like that's how much I guess it
Sick.
impacted sneaker
Mm.
culture. I remember like that YouTube phase where like I took a white pair and like did the little like YouTube tutorial, like little speckles. I bought some
Wow.
like just paint. Like
Wow.
I just tested it out. I just wanted to like be a shoe customizer and like see how it goes. So this not this exact colorway, but like this shoe was the shoe that I like didn't know. I know what Air Forces are popping for customs.
Yeah.
But
That
this
was
is what I did it on, and I remember easily going to school like every day in them, just owning. They're just comfortable. Yeah.
You think the silhouette was influential?
I mean, it's very difficult to say like where and what things originate. I see it's a very clean, simple look. I think there's nothing like you can't not like the shoe.
I think
get
of Yeezy when I see it.
The 350 somewhat comes up because if you look carefully in the toe box, how it wraps around.
Yes.
The little lines, so that, especially like the sole itself, it's just not like Boost. It's not foam, but it's a different version of foam. But
Okay.
I mean, realistically, a lot of sneakers are gonna have a silhouette where it's like sleek, runner, like. I mean, so now you can't really hate on it. Like I wouldn't wear them today. Like I don't think there's nothing that is special about them, but they did their little thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one.
The
Toe shoes, man. You go to the beach, you don't want to fuck up your feet. What are you gonna wear?
I actually have 1,000 pairs of these.
Do you really?
Yeah.
No way.
So like I have the Kanye versions.
Oh, okay, that's fire. I'm
Wait,
gonna have to look
what?
up.
Oh yeah, you didn't know that? But you're big toe guy, no? You didn't know that?
Oh, that's
Did not know that.
crazy.
I don't
No.
honestly. I do not own a pair. I'm just standing up for the toe people, bro.
I know
Oh,
one person.
but I'm
that
glad
owns
I
them.
got you looking it up because I've never seen this before.
Kanye toe.
You've never
shoes.
seen these before?
No, I'm just look at him looking it up right now. It's not. I don't know if it's a thing, but you're about to find out.
Yeah.
Bro. I was
Okay.
about to say,
Why did you
I
bamboozle
would
me,
definitely
dude?
know about it.
This man.
We had to.
Hey, it's Kanye, man. You never know. He can do anything.
You bamboozled me. You threw this up. So you just got your sauce
well,
back.
when you look it up, this pops up, but it's not a Kanye thing
it's
at
not.
all.
I would have
but
got them if they were Kanye though.
Probably.
That would make
to be
sense.
honest.
No. But I mean, I've rarely seen these. Like, I mean, I'm sure they like I said, they're only very useful for a few things. But
Like
if you want to
climbing
wear 'em,
trees
if you
with
want to
your
wear them,
toes.
go ahead. I've never put them on. I'd actually be down to try them on. They look mad funny.
Yeah.
Like I think they look comfortable though. Each toe has a little pocket.
That is.
If
pretty
If you think
interesting.
about it,
That is
that
pretty
shit cozy.
People do that monkey toe stuff where they put spacers in between their toes.
Oh,
it
Margiela.
stretches-
Margielas have that. The camel toe shoes.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you seen those?
That's
No, I
pretty
haven't.
insane.
That's real. I promise.
Is
you.
it real? Okay,
It's-
I'm just making sure. I'm not trying to get bamboozled, bro. I'm sitting in here worried.
They have
nervous.
boots. They have boots that have like the right here. It's cut,
Okay.
and it literally looks like that.
I've seen that. I think
Yeah.
I saw Future or Thug wear those.
Yeah. That's also, in my opinion, a miss, I guess. But again,
Okay.
I see the appeal.
Potential.
They're funny. They're rare. Yeah.
You think Kanye might pick up toe shoes?
I'm sure if he does, we'll probably know about it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll hear about it.
I'm sure we'll hear about it.
Yeah. Well, dude, I really appreciate you coming on. You're fucking dope.
No, I appreciate you guys.
Real,
Crazy.
real chill people. You got a great crew back here. Just
Yeah.
chilling and
Nah,
supporting.
These
the
are
We're
great
still
looking
the best,
guys,
we're
man.
the
Are
best.
these the guys from the very start, man?
Well, I can't say that, but nah, my boys from back home, they stay with me. You know what I mean? Like,
Always, yeah.
That's why another reason why I still play zombies, just because like it gives us not just like a phone call, like oh yo bro, like how you been? We hop on, we do our thing, and like we just we catch up and
Yes.
talk. But nah, this is family too as well, just because like everyone, not to say like oh I have like a lot of people that I talk to, I really don't. Like I really only specifically have just like my little select group. But no, like everyone has a very, very specific meaning. I'm not one to like go out much or go to parties much, just to kind of
Right.
like, I don't like circle around like 100 different, I don't know that many, but those that are close enough to do it, like that's just, they with me. I want to see every one of them up as well.
That's awesome. Bro.
My editor Bailey, he is my oldest friend, bro.
That's
And,
great.
He
Yeah.
never I taught him how to edit overnight. Man picked it up and he started like learning color science. He went way beyond. He obsesses over shit. Like he got into paintballing once, and the man started competing and like buying all the best gear. He just obsesses over anything, and Bailey has absolutely been killing the clips. I used to do them all myself, but Bailey has really destroyed it.
But that's the best way to do it, because if I'd rather have someone, especially if they're, handling content or just being around me so often, I'd rather have them be that person that's like, I want to get it done the proper way, or the right way,
Yes.
rather as like half-assing or lazy. But yeah,
For sure.
I still, one of my obviously like childhood friends, I've known someone for 12 years, like we still good, we still
For sure.
keep up, and like a lot of the people that I grew up with and kind of like started everything with, they're still in Maryland, so but they pull up to here, I pull up to there. It's just,
Right.
it's a matter of time until everyone connects again.
Well, thank you, Adam, aka Sneakz. Thank you, David 10K, for letting us use the condo in Miami, bro. That's love.
Absolutely.
And Kenneth, you're a G, always.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it's always a pleasure to be on the podcast, man.
Yeah.
Nah, you boys are legends. Honestly, thank you.
Appreciate
Nah,
that.
thank
Yeah, you
bro.
too, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So-
Well, that's the pod.
Yes, sir.
Let's do
Let's
it.
go.
Beautiful. You are beautiful. beautiful no matter what you say.
Them headphones are killing me. No, I in the same spot for too long. I'd have to move them around. I didn't want to look like an idiot. Always just like